Welcome back to the ChairQAsition. If you are not watching the post-show bits, you should definitely go back for some sacrilegious goodness. But for now, we're reviewing F1 2017. It's from Codemasters, Birmingham, Alabama, Feral Interactive. It's on the Ego engine. You can pick it up for the low cost of $70 Canadian, 44 pounds, and 60 US monies. What is it? F1 2017 gives the player unprecedented access to not only the on-track excitement of F1, but the off-track excitement and vehicle dealings that go along with it, along with some stunning new locations, compelling characters, to interact with. These enhancements all combine to provide the most complete experience of the F1 world yet. So if you've never seen the ChairQAsition before, this is where we, run the game through our chair ringer. Give it a little QA that it may have not otherwise gotten. We're 3 different people on 3 different sets of hardware with 3 different Linux distributions, so you get the full gamut. We throw chairs. 1 chair means that it's garbage. 2 chairs means that it's mad. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. 4 chairs means that it's awesome. And we got our categories, doom. Mixed with the working, shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So we're going to continue on trying to make this a roundtable discussion. Then, by the way, Feral did send us some keys for this. Thank you for that. Good on you. Vulkan only as well. So Ven, make with the working.
On the freshly minted, not in mint, but Ubuntu 17.10, running the new fancy 4.13 kernel, which I was already running on 17.04. Outside of the Vulkan issues that I was also facing with Mad Maxine, having to set the IDX to use my 980 because for fuck all reason, really wanted to run on the 770, and that didn't work so well, Brad. On every single start, though, that got annoying, which the really annoying thing about that, I'm not going to ding it a chair because it's a fucked up configuration I have. But if I didn't do it, I launched it, hard locks the box. How does it run? With a 980 holding a solid 60, occasional dips into the 50s. That's at 1080 with everything maxed out, like ultra high, everything, anti-lacing, you name it. 1440p, low mid 50s, 2160p, fake UHD, some people like to call it, full metal 30s. Was it just me, guys, or did anyone else just notice a couple of hints, just a sprinkling of what we used to call the Vulkan herky jerk?
A little bit, yeah, especially on the laptop. When you're running it at medium 1080p, it definitely struggled to maintain consistent frame rates. But beyond that, it runs reasonably well. This guy is Fedora 25, 64-bit with the i7-6700HQ. I also ran it on the i7-6700K with the GTX 980, and I finally realized why I don't have that GPU issue that you have, Ben, is because that 460 doesn't support Vulkan. So, yep. So I don't run into this. I sidestepped it by having a sufficiently ancient card. 30 at UHD abouts, hovering around high 60s at 1080p. It's well performing. They did an okay job with the Vulkan renderer. Definitely. There's still a little bit of herky jerk. But I mean, what are you gonna do about that?
But you have the first gen Skylake, right?
On both of the machines, actually. This guy's also a first-gen Skylake.
That's one of the things we saw with Vulkan is we were benching Thursday night after our live stream. Yeah. And that's what Vulkan has kind of promised, man. Really taking it off, with my Ryzen 7 clocked at 3.6. Your Intel didn't really fucking matter, man. We were in like 2 or 3 frames of each other.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is you have a lot more cores to submit instructions to the GPU as well, which is definitely speeding that up. So now we're starting to see the delta between high core count and high single clock frequency. I did get it to crash a couple times though. The game is a little borky, especially on the laptop hardware. It'll crash on exit, and also after some benchmarks if you crank the settings up high enough. I don't know, Pedro, what was your experience? You have the best video card of the lot of us, so
yeah, I didn't actually notice any of the herky jerks, and that's one of the things I noticed that I mentioned in the when we talked about it in the Steam segment. It's there are when you run the benchmark, they actually give you the lowest frame time you had, the highest frame time you had, and then the average. And the lowest and the highest, the delta between the two were like 10 milliseconds. So on my end, I didn't really notice any of the herky jerks, and it held above 70 on average with dips to like 50. But yeah, they were just dips. That's it. It is compared to F1 2015, what we threw chairs a while back. It is a significant improvement. Maybe it's Vulcan, maybe it's Feral, just getting their analyticsy bits in order.
No, I'm watching the video right now. For the video, how long have you been drinking when you decided to record this?
A little bit.
So we're clear that drunk Pedro's driving is a little slightly better than my sober driving. TIO.
No, it gets worse. It gets worse than that, and it's no, I didn't do well in this game, but there's more on that later. On my end, I was running this on the Ryzen 5 1600 with all the 12 threads running at 3.2. It's still at the base clock. I did futz around with the overclocking a little bit, but I haven't really settled on anything just yet. On Ubuntu 1604 LTS. So yeah, no, for me it's 4 chairs.
Yeah, I'll give it 3. It's still a little borky. It still has some issues. Still runs very, very well, but I can't give it a perfect score.
Yeah, and definitely even with the Vulcan issue trying to go to the wrong card, I can't really hit them because that is. I contacted Feral Support and they're like, "What?" It's like, all right, let me explain to you our recording setup and how we're utilizing the other card for the video recording. And I'm like, okay, well, here, try that. And I had a mute. Forget who I talked to at Vulcan, but it was
at Vulcan.
At
yes.
Vulcan. Basically,
was it Spock? I love that guy.
They moved me directly to one of the carbon-based entities in charge of Vulcan. He's like, try this. It's like, oh, that worked. He's like, did that work? Question mark. And we had the collective like, huh, together. So tallying all that up, it's going to get a solid 3 chairs. That's not bad. That's a good start. That means it performed better than average.
What about shiny and sounds? Because here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that like what was the first F1 games? I'm just gonna throw. I'm gonna be wrong about this, but I'm just gonna throw out a number. It's gonna be 2010.
Pole Racer. Atari 2600.
Well, I'm talking about this. Specific
oh shit!
franchise.
Somebody just blew you out of the water, bitch.
Good for you, Steve-O.
Wait, pole position.
Pole position. Aha, giggity. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that they haven't actually changed their like crowd models since pole position. No. They've just been like rendering them at higher and higher frame rates, and that's why all the crowd people look like little cardboard cutouts.
Oh man, you definitely you noticed that too, because if you spend a lot of time like in the ditch, in the walls, not going like you should be going, and you have a minute to look around. Yeah, they didn't spend a whole lot of time on that crowd work or the scenery there.
Yeah, but I mean, the stuff that you care about, like the cars, the tracks, that all looks fantastic, which is really what you're going to be paying attention to until you slam into a wall like me. So, I mean, like, it's about as good as it's going to get.
The car models are great. The track looks great. Now, the human models, I posted a picture earlier this week in Discord.
Your rep?
Career mode. It's just oh god, the uncanny valley on that one.
That lady, I mean, she is absolutely, genuinely horrifying.
I mean, the scary thing too is like the lip sync is dead on, but nothing else is.
It's like the faces. You got that mocap down. Anything that's not on the track, definitely got to say it looks like it was textured and rigged by an intern at Codemasters. Looks a lot like F1 2015. No shock there. Everything still has that slightly plasticky feel to it. That look, just a little too shiny, but nothing terribly offensive. There's nothing wrong with that.
The biggest difference here was that this time around, I was actually able to put on all the turbo graphics, and it holds way above 60 for the most part.
All 16 of the turbo graphics?
Yes, all of the turbo graphics. But yeah, it actually manages to hold a very respectable frame rate throughout the whole thing, with graphics looking this good. Now, again, if you do pay attention to the trees and the crowds, yeah, you're going to notice what.
If you pay attention to the trees and the clouds, motherfucker, you're going to crash into walls and have more time to take looks at it.
We'll save that for the control section coming up next. But I think across the board, we're pretty much at the consensus that this is still 3 chairs.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely 3 chairs, and that's what you're here for. Did we see any major graphical glitches, any serious hangups? And the answer to that is nay. We didn't.
No, but it's not perfect. That's the problem. If they're gonna put all this effort into the visual fidelity and then make us look at Unity grass and horrifying like robot people, then you're gonna get dinged a chair. So how about controls? I know, Vin, you played this with the Steam controller, yeah?
Thank you, Strider. I'm doing my little cam girl impression, or a cam boy. I'm sure there's plenty of those too. Hey man. It worked out of the box with a Steam controller. There's a profile for it, which is just obvious profile. All the shit works like you would expect it to. Didn't have to hunt and peck. Buttons matched up. Good on that business, 100%. Really all I can say is I kind of guess it controls like an F1 car driven with a fucking joystick. Can't say anything more than that. Can't really complain about it. Didn't have an issue driving it. It is always a little bit weird with these games because they kind of give you an easy mode if you're playing with a joystick versus a racing wheel, just because you're turning, your control radius. I would like to see something utilizing the areolas in the areola controller to kind of rotate around the bottom half to simulate.
You can set that up.
I could set that up, but we needed to get this shit QA'd. Yeah. Before, right? That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's your standard driving game: right trigger, accelerate, left trigger, reverse, and then you turn around, do the hokey pokey and whatnot. I was actually kind of hoping that as the car was slowing down, it would actually, in the footage we're watching, it would actually plow into the repair people. But alas, this game isn't that good. But yeah, props to Feral or Codemasters, whoever did this. But if you plug in a DualShock controller, you get correct button prompts, which is a thing that I love seeing because I hate press A. I don't have an A button on my controller, you turd.
It was kind of funny watching. There was somebody spooled up his redrive on Linux_gaming. He's like, I would buy this if it supported, Thrustmaster Turbo Yolotron 9000 spinny wheel car simulator. And I think Ellie does their social media stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, we made a point to include the drivers and support for that." He's like, "Poof, Houdini." She's like, "Gone." Don't be that person. If I kind of wish I had a full wheel pedal set up, but that path leads to expenditures that make a Vive setup look cheap.
No, well, it has to include the Vive too at this point, right? So you can no
VR support for this, surprisingly.
No, there isn't.
That's a little unfortunate. They're already halfway there with the Vulkan render.
I think it's a financial decision because if somebody's already spent the money on a racing wheel setup, they don't have the fucking money left to buy.
A good racing wheel will run you easily for like $500. So
I would make the counter argument. If you're willing to shell out the money for that, clearly you have some disposable income. But anyways,
but that's a racing wheel, not a frickin' toaster that fucks your eye pussies. No, on my end, I alternated between the Steam controller, thanks for that, Lockdown, and the keyboard. I managed to do slightly better with the keyboard, but that's probably because of all the assists that Codemasters like to build in to the game when they because that's one of the awesome things they do is they code in different levels of assists for all the different controller schemes. So if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, they basically put you in full-on baby mode, and I still sucked. But hey, it worked. So I have absolutely no complaints here.
So four chairs?
Oh yeah,
all 4, baby. Good job.
Right, 4 to the floor for control, and let's put a bow on it. Did you have fun playing F1, Ben?
Oh, man, everybody do the dinosaur motherfuckers. Again, before you start flipping out on me, hear me out. Because I'm not a fan of simulation games. It's plain, it's simple. Old man Vin. It's not my thing. I don't care if it's city building, driving, dictating, you name it, man. Why? Because it kind of feels like I'm doing a little bit of work, guys. It kind of does, and if I'm working on something, I kind of feel like I want to accomplish some shit. And unfortunately, the only thing you're going to accomplish is getting good at a video game, which there's nothing wrong with. It's just I feel my time could be better spent other places. That said, motherfucker, do I suck at this game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bad. And we're not talking rage quit. We're talking about, you got the tongue hanging out of the mouth, focus like 2+ hours in. Seriously, 2 hours in, doing the same fucking track in Space Australia. The game's
that's the one you're looking at right now.
Telling me to go get stuffed, man. He's like, just get out of here. But come back, try it again. I tried, and eventually, after a few hours of trying to get good, it's like, fucking, I'll try a single race. Predictable results. Just, hey, look, wall, boom. I mean, broke both my front wheels off. Got a good screenshot of that. Wasn't even trying either. Absolutely wasn't. And that's with the training wheels mode on. I mean, I'm rubbish at this. I'm horrible.
Smash.
F1 2017. All right, what about this, guys? It does. I think it's very safe to say that F1 2017 will skull fuck you. Skull fuck you for blinking at the wrong time.
Oh yeah, yes. I said this in the pre super shows, and where I got a text alert on my phone. I just looked to see what it was, and then I was like smashing into a wall. But like here's the thing. This is not a game that's gonna like change your opinion on simulators, right? I personally have never seen the appeal of F1 aside from an excuse to like get hammered with your friends. I have no friends, and getting trashed makes me play even worse at this game.
Okay, I got a challenge for you.
What was that?
Sim Dictator.
sorry, you said Sim Dick what? Anyways,
we actually have played that game, and it did involve cars.
This is true. There is actually, on a brief tangent, there is actually a game where the goal is to fuck the other players in like the asshole. Mm-hmm. And if you win, your penis grows longer. But that's neither here nor there. What is here though is this is a game purely targeted at like F1 enthusiasts and people with driving wheels that are into simulations. If you're trying to get me to like this game, it's like trying to peddle McNuggets at an anorexia meet. You're just going after the wrong people. The fact is, like, for all I know, this is a competently done racing game. After playing it for 2 hours, I have improved on the Australia track. Like, my times have gone down, but I'm bored while doing it. It's not fun. I derive no enjoyment from it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's to me, this is identical to playing F1 2015. I literally see no difference in these games at all.
But
period.
there is a difference, and F1 2017 is very clearly better than F1 2015.
How?
It is
explain it, quantify it.
The way that the car handles, for one, regardless of whichever control scheme you have, it actually does rely more on how you. If you know about how an F1 car controls, you know that the faster you're going, the more downforce you have, the more grip you have. In F1 2015, that was bullshit because you would still have to basically stand on the brakes for the car to even be able to turn a corner. Here, that's not the case. Here, you can actually force the car at speed to get through a turn correctly because you do get that extra grip.
Pedro, I'm looking forward to everyone in the comments telling you how wrong you are for whatever reason.
Oh yes, I'm sure.
Well, but, I mean, to that point, I tried some combinations of things as I was slamming into walls, and gunning on it doesn't seem to help my turning at all. You still have to brake, at least when I played it. So
you have to be careful with your angle of approach at every single turn. Now, I have played a lot of racing games. I like racing games. I like them a lot, and I just smacked my microphone. That's another one for the count. And this one feels a lot better to drive. I can't really quantify that subjective description there, but it does feel a hell of a lot better to drive.
I definitely got to say, like, the throttle and brake feel better.
Yes, and much like Ven, I suck all manner of dangly bits at this game, which isn't really something that affects my enjoyment of any particular game. I suck at roguelikes, and yet I love that particular genre. It's just that I can't really seem to enjoy F1 games at all. That said, I don't think this is a bad game. And the fact that it uses Vulkan and it shows by just how smoothly it runs on my box, I can recognize that it's better on a technical level than F1 2015 was. I just don't find it fun.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, I see a lot of people in the chat room. I don't follow Formula One. You know, I get it. I do get it. Trust me, I've owned a lot of stupid cars. Which clearly, if you own a lot of stupid cars, you're qualified to talk about F1.
Because they are stupid cars, yeah.
Hey, man, they're cool. I could watch documentaries on them all day long. That's what the career mode didn't really add anything for me. And again, this season's almost over too. But what I'll get to is the customization of your cars. That shit couldn't fucking care about, man. Some people eat that up, man, because you do have all those options. And they are there. This is for the enthusiast, the person who gets a raging clue from just the mention. Just the, oh crap, what's his name? I forget. Dale Earnhardt, yes.
Oh, the NASCAR guy? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just being a badass troll right now.
Why do I even know that? What the fuck?
I don't know. Hey, man, Canada's the second largest market. The driving games, man, distance, Mad Max, rocket cars. I don't care. I require the ability for me to really enjoy them. I require that ability to just like dick around and have some fun. So at the end of the day, for me, if you're into F1, you've already left a comment or you're already live watching this right now saying how wrong I am about everything. But for the rest of you, hear this. If you're looking for a sim, a racing sim, to kind of dip your little toe organ, and I guess I should use my pinky organ on that one, I would actually have to suggest Dirt Rally on this,
or
not
even
this.
Grid Autosport.
I don't even think you can get Grid on Steam anymore.
You can't get,
well,
you
if
can't
you
get
can't, that
Auto
sucks,
Squirt. Wheeze! Oh, no smash. Boom!
Off the track.
Boom! And yeah, good luck staying on the track. This is like coloring in between the lines hard mode. I don't know if you had to apply a chair score to it. I'm gonna throw 1. I just don't enjoy these games. I tried, but
I would give it 2 based on the simple fact that on a technical level, it is much better done as a racing game than F1 2015 was, because that's the point of reference I have. It still sucks compared to even Grid Autosport or Dirt Rally, because Dirt Rally is just the best Codemasters game we have on Linux right now. But yeah, no, I'd give it 2 chairs solely on the technical progress that this game shows in comparison to the previous one we had.
Yeah, yeah, I'd really like to give it a 2, but I'd just be doing that to be nice. It's a sim game. If you think this is going to be the racing simulation that makes you go, oh, fuck me. What have I been missing all these years? What is wrong with my life? And you go sell your actual motoring vehicle to go buy a steering wheel and some pedals. You want to get good ones because the cheap ones break real fucking easy. This isn't going to do it. This is going to anger and confuse you. Then again, if you're stuck with this game on an island and you have nothing better to do than get good at something, this will keep you occupied.
You will improve at this game.
You will. I mean, there's a lot there. I didn't hate it, but I can't say I had fun with it because I felt like it's structured very well with the training modes, and it's like, oh no, we're not going to be able to use that. You're going to have to redo that. I'm like, do you know how long it's going to fucking take to do another 8 laps, motherfucker?
Yeah, you barely have me on board for 3, let alone 8.
So, yeah. Good port, Feral. Good use with Vulkan. Still slower than the Windows version, but a lot better than we saw with the OpenGL. And one thing we didn't see, I was expecting, was kind of a massive outcry of people with older video cards, like a Jordan's secondary video card, like a 4X series, going, but I can't play it. It's like you really wouldn't have been able to play it in the first place.
Also, you're not really missing out on much. So how many chairs, Vin?
If we're going to put a bow on it, it actually walks out with a passing score.
Yeah. 2 chairs. for the total score for Ben scored this guy as a 1 for the.
If you want to see all of our individual scores, just go to the show notes. They're all there with a detailed description.
Yeah. There's always good stuff in the show notes, just like there's always money in the banana stand.